in the hood.
Donkeys and donkeys, bitches.
Oh, you got going on here today, Jeff? Wow, we got some Oakleys down here. Don't mind if I turn that down for a minute. Bolt builder. What the hell is that? Extracting sockets.
Bolt builder.
Oh,
Biter.
bolt
Biter.
Bolt biter.
New extractor set.
Check that shit out. Because he could have used these all day today, I'm telling you that.
Who?
You remember you were trying to extract some stuff?
No.
Oh, I just want this. Is this USB card? Ooh, that is a USB freaking Gearwrench car. Freaking. Oh, yeah. Look, fucking front end came off. I knew it was a Chevy engine. Look at that fucking little small as hell. Alright, there's the extractors. Oh, get a couple of freebies too. So you buy a set, you get part of the set free. It's pretty stylish. I can dig it. Yeah. Let me put this thing back together for you. How much does this kit go for? Oh, is this a demo kit?
It's a demo. This is demo.
Oh, so we don't know price yet. Oh, look at that shit.
Yeah, so you take it home and show it. Look, here's the 3 kits available.
Dope. Look how freaking. Wow.
So this kit is going to be comparable to the Irwin kit. Irwin kit's a 30, it's just a 15-piece.
Rock and roll.
Their claim to fame on it is that you can remove and install. Some guys will say, well, what the fuck do I need to install for? Well, in a pinch, if you got a jacked up bolt, and you got to put it back in place.
And then this is the setup here that we would be hooking up to the vise when I get home.
Correct.
Or can you pull that out? Let's check that out. All right, and then these, obviously,
Those
because it's set up, it'll come out though with this.
Well, it's got a nylock nut on it, so I believe the way that they have it set up is it'll spin.
Oh,
just
so
turn.
you can just
So you
turn
can
it.
see. Yeah.
See the
They're
bite.
bald, dude. There's nothing there to get a grip on. So
Okay, yeah, we'll freaking check that shit out for sure. Hell yeah. And then you get the free USB, so that's dope too. You can save your videos to that shit. All about that.
see you next week.
Alright, let's see, what else is crack-a-lacking for today? Mid-length, this Gearwrench, they sell mid-length sockets, the impact wobbles, don't they? Mid-length impact wobble?
Not yet.
No?
They don't have mid-length. If you're looking...
God, they got to get on the ball, man.
So they have pinless and short. If you're looking at long, they're still pinned.
And how do you... I see, I just got that set from you last week. What's this pin? Is it the pinless?
Pinless. So
How does that work?
had an exclusive on it. I believe the patent must have run out. The idea is you take an orange and remove slices. Every other slice is removed.
Huh.
It's orange. The idea is you can get more pivot out of it, and then you're not putting the stress on the pin.
Right. Okay. You know, the one thing I was thinking about the other day is I wondered if a pinless style 12 millimeter 12 point would have been a better way for Sunex to go, because that one that I got, it, like, after a couple of uses on drive shafts, it just locks it in one position. So you can still use it, but it's kind of locked up.
Drive shaft with the 3-inch extension on it. Yeah, I think pinless would be better on it. You can still bind a pinless one. I have one customer, I don't know what he does. He uses a 1/2 inch on the impact, but he's destroyed 3. I just think he's kind of a brute with it.
I mean, you put it on one drive shaft and it's game over, because it just automatically locks up. Because I did warranty 1 out with you, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's just the way that it is, so whatever, it still works. I'll just keep running with it. But so they do make a pinless though, so that's good. Maybe I'll think about that then. Any hot deals? Oh, look at that, some Universal Ranch shirts. Buy me, get 3. All Gearwrench shirts?
Scott Family Tools shirt is in there.
Oh, cool. Cool. Little stool, little step stool. It's kind of handy, just one little stool.
Yes.
How much is that?
36.
That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, a little aluminum stool. Nice. Impact hammers. Who's making the best impact hammer right now?
For an air hammer?
Yeah.
So I think the Snap-on one is still the best.
We don't have Snap-on though.
Alright.
And Silver Eagle, the one I got, is kind of like, yeah. So I was thinking about upgrading, but what would I upgrade to?
I don't know how good the Silver Eagle one is. The Ingersoll Rand, the 118 Max that's up here. This is what I've owned. I bought it from my Matco guy. And I had it, everything I used at Accurate. I mean, it worked on everything that I used at Accurate.
Okay, and it comes with a pretty fair amount of adapters.
Yeah, so Ingersoll doesn't warranty these, but
Right.
if you buy the gun by itself, you're $209. If you buy it like this, you're $229. So you
You're
can't
really
buy.
yeah, you can't beat the deal.
You can't beat for $20 because you can grind on those, make them into whatever you want.
I'll definitely have to take that into consideration.
This is all I've sold on the truck since I've owned the truck, with Cornwell or by myself. And I've only had to have 2 repaired while they were under warranty. One was a guy that worked at Burtech.
Okay.
So he's a heathen.
I will definitely take that into consideration because I have been looking for a new air hammer for sure.
Did you look at those before?
No. What's up with these? So bolt
They're
cutters,
really
right?
cool. No, they're cable crimpers.
Oh shit. For battery terminals.
Yeah. They're badass. Joey got a set, but cool thing is the dies are already there. You can just rotate it through, pick whatever size you'd like.
I like that. What's
Lock
that
in
run?
place. These ones 76, and then they come with the free cutters.
Oh shit.
You get one of the pieces.
Freaking dope.
Yeah. So
Hell yeah.
super impressed with these. Golf cart guy was actually somebody that turned me onto them. They use them all the time when they're building golf cart cables.
All right. Wish list. Wish list. All right. Super sick. Super dope. Crimp Pro 4-in-1 angled wire crimp tool. Love that style, man. I got the Cornwell ones like this. I did have this. This is a freaking phenomenal product here. This is interesting here.
That's I couldn't remember. I ordered one.
Crimp Pro.
Back ordered from the company, so I couldn't remember.
So just different style of metal, a little bit thinner action up here on the top. Is this for the smaller ones or what?
What's that?
This style right here, the OTC rebranded one.
So you look at the 2 of them. We pulled them out.
I got
yesterday.
these. Those are a bit
And
thicker.
They look like they're just a mirror image with a few small
Changes,
differences.
yeah, like thinner
they
head.
had to do something different.
Uh-huh.
But when you look at this and you look at this, almost looks like maybe OTC was making these for
Cornwell. Right. Rock and roll. Gearwrench screwdriver set looking pretty damn good. What do the Gearwrench screwdriver sets go for with the different?
That set that's in your hand is right about $86.
Okay.
The best promo that they have is this right now. Where you buy these, it's a 20-piece set. So it's your screwdriver set, 2 stubbies, and then a mini screwdriver set is included in there.
Precision.
And then you get the scraper set free.
Oh shit. And what's that bigger set? 20-piece set go for with the
That-
free scraper?
The 20-piece set with the free scraper is $147.
Nice. Hey, any word on Milwaukee Gen 3? Everyone's talking about them possibly coming out with the 3rd gen now. I haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't seen much. I have the extended neck ratchets on pre-order. They're talking end of October, beginning of November.
End of October, beginning of November. Nice. I'll keep that in consideration. Heat gun. Any good?
Works excellent. Puts out a lot of heat. Funny thing is, the only ones that I've sold were to guys with nitro RC cars.
See? I told you, right? Okay.
So 3 of them I've sold, but all to guys with nitro RC cars. That's what they wanted for.
How much does that hot rod go for? Just the bare tool, no battery?
186 is list. They're on sale for 165.
Fuck yeah. I gotta wish list some of this stuff. Wait for Joey to start picking it up. Joey's got a killer freaking Milwaukee collection going on.
146. It's not that much. No. The scraper set's not always on sale, or it's not always included, but they've had it going on the first quarter, they went in the second quarter, and they must have had enough left over, so I've been able to keep ordering them.
I gotta get another one of these. I keep using chains. These things are freaking phenomenal for checking brakes. There's a different style though. There's a different set that has a hook on it. God, what was that set? It's a plastic set.
You?
I'll have to look around. There's a different set that I like that he has. It's way better than those. We've pretty much seen everything, guys. Alright guys, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for our tool truck walk around today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to be seeing you guys back at the house for a shared topic. Somebody was asking me if you can get away with using strictly impact sockets throughout your entire either DIY or shade tree profession, or if you are a professional mechanic, can you get away with just using impact only or chrome only the entire time? We'll talk about that when we get back to the house and crush some beers. So we'll see you guys here in a few. What's going on, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. It's the end of the work day. Peeled my fingernail halfway back. How lovely is that? At any rate, today we saw some pretty cool tools on the Gearwrench truck. So that was kind of nice. I'm getting ready to actually pull them in to the garage so that way I can do a little review of them over the weekend. I'm even going to show you guys a little bit of video footage of me using the Makita and my thoughts on it so far as it stands. At any rate, let's talk about this. So I had a question from a fellow subscriber that said, for me as a DIY pavement mechanic, it's impact everything. I don't need chrome. So I said I want to kind of agree and disagree with you all in the same exact sentence, really, because in that statement it kind of got me to thinking about when I first got back into wrenching at the dealership. I think most of everything that I had, for the exception of 1/4 inch, was impact. I had the Snap-on Impact SAE and metric. I also had the deep and shallow for both of those. I also had a 1/2 inch metric, and then I had metric chrome. I didn't have any SAE chrome. Since I never really used the SAE Impact, I actually did end up trading those into Snap-on. I got an on-tool truck credit. Any rate, so it was impact 1/2 inch, impact 3/8, chrome 1/4 inch. I got away with using impact pretty much for the most part on just about everything. And then later down the road, as I would work in the independent shop, I started to notice a need for tighter spaces, weirder sockets like swivels, and then there was E-Torx, then there was tamper Torx, and then there was spline drive or rib drive, then there was triple square, and then there was turbo Torx, then there was all these different fasteners. Some you could only get with chrome, and then the weird style of fastener socket on the other end. Most of them not being impact rated. You'd have to buy them separately if they even sold them impact rated. So I got used to using a lot of chrome stuff on my impact as a result. Only most recently have I started to see other tool companies develop impact specialty sockets, whereas before it was kind of hit and miss, and for the most part everyone was aware of this and everyone pretty much used chrome for the most part. So what should you be using as a shade tree or pavement warrior, or weekend warrior, DIY, etc.? So if I had to think back to when I was just a pavement warrior, grease monkey DIY guy, before I even got into the community college level stuff and started getting into the trade officially, working as a lube tech, most of the stuff that I started off with was like the smaller sets, like 3/8 chrome from Sears. I started off with like a little 1/4 inch, I think it was like a PT kind of tool set from, I got some weird, really cheap, made in China knockoff set from back east, and I kind of carried it back with me. I want to say it was Performance Tool, but I could be wrong. It very well could have been the Tecton one that I had. I don't know. I had a Tecton set once upon a time ago, but it was on the bargain bin, and I got it because I had a battery that I was changing out on my own. I didn't really care for the set, and they were very cheaply and poorly made. This has been about 15 years back now. But anyway, really just didn't really develop a flavor or taste for them. Only lately have they started to do, and create better and better products from what I've seen on YouTube and from what I can actually tell so far with the impact socket that we've gotten from Client Graphics to try out and run through the ringer. But get the most affordable tool set that you can possibly fathom, and then just kind of go from there. I mean, if you're pulling a wheel off occasionally on the weekend on your own vehicle or your friend's vehicle, you don't need to use an impact gun. You could do it with a breaker bar and a chrome socket and just, and then if you wanted to, you can attach a cordless and then run it out the rest of the way, so you're not putting a lot of shit behind that socket and messing it up. You just run it out. So it'd be like using a screw gun or something like that. It's really quite difficult for me to try to explain to you guys what it is that you should put in your own toolbox, because I'm not going to tell you what it is exactly that you should put in your toolbox. That solely depends on the type of vehicle that you have. If you have a Euro car where it's got lots of Torx bits and E-Torx and metric, well, then maybe those are the sockets and specialty sockets you should be considering buying and putting in your toolbox. If you're on a domestic and you occasionally run into an E-Torx and some Torx, but for the most part it's metric and maybe some SAE depending on how old it is. Maybe it's all SAE. Maybe you don't need E-Torx or Torx because your truck's so old you never had that fastener on that particular vehicle. Unfortunately, it's not always like that with Chrysler. The top 2 bell housing bolts are E-Torx, so that's always fun. Again, really depends on the platform and vehicle or year, make, model, etc. that you own and what it is that you're planning on doing to it. I know there are several channels out there that specifically only work on one car and one car alone, that same model, that same year, that same platform. Bleepin Jeep's a great channel, for instance, and most of the stuff that he does is on Jeeps. You know, whether it's from an older Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, maybe he found one of those Comanches like he did over there in the scrapyard, brought it home, turned it into something awesome. He did the Hope Float series, which was pretty cool. But that's his area. That's what he likes taking apart and putting together, and he already knows what kind of tools that he needs. So as a result, you're not having to buy so much specialty stuff. You know exactly what it is that you need. And I guess that would be my recommendation for you guys if you're pavement pounders or weekend warriors or shade tree or DIY. Depends on whose all vehicle you're planning on working on. If it's pretty much your vehicles right there in the front of your yard, go from there. Start looking around. Start taking stuff off. Start changing out gaskets. Start doing, you know, your fluid and filter services or resealing that oil pan, and just kind of play with it, man. You know, use the pry bars and whatnot. Use scrapers. Use putty knives. Get a feel for what it is that works for you and what's going to be cheaper for you in the long run. Don't go and buy everything under the sun. And you don't necessarily need a huge master kit either. You can start off with something as simple as just this 3/8 socket set, or you know, a little 1/4 inch socket set, or the 1/2 inch socket set. You know, and then you go buy yourself, you know, a couple decent ratchets from like Napa or from Harbor Freight. Maybe you find that slick deal on eBay, so you get the super sweet snap-on ratchet that you would have never otherwise had access to because you're a garage mechanic and you don't have a snap-on truck. Maybe you find a slick deal on something like that, you know? That stuff happens. Maybe you win one in a giveaway like we've recently done. Whatever the case may be, look, I would say if you're gonna buy anything, buy what works for you. You are gonna run into situations where chrome sockets are gonna come in handy, and you're gonna run into situations where impact sockets are gonna be your best friend. One of the biggest things that I could tell you guys, the difference between an impact socket and the chrome socket, which I think a lot of you are already aware of. We'll take these two for an example. So your chrome socket, right? Hard metal. At least that's how it's supposed to be designed and made. Not meant for impact use. Impact socket, made out of a softer metal, made for impact use. However, there's a huge difference between an impact socket that's made by somebody like this Nico brand or Tecton or OTC or Gearwrench or Pittsburgh, okay? They're made of a softer metal, but a thicker metal, which is meant to take more abuse. However, the metal isn't so soft on the cheaper brands. What do I mean by that? Well, the snap-on impact socket set that I have is made out of a softer metal. So I found myself exchanging and warranting out at least a half a dozen of them that were worn out or rounded out on the inside of the hex. At least 2 or 3 a year, 4 a year, depending on which sizes I was really just impacting all the time, because I use 3/8 impact a lot and I use them every single day for that specific reason, and they do wear out relatively quickly. The Harbor Freight impact sockets that I've had now, the wobble ones that I have that you guys have probably seen on a toolbox or service cart tour that I've done, I've had those things about as long as I warrantied out the last time with the snap-on socket. So about 2 years roughly running on both, 2-3 years now, somewhere in there. I've been running on both that Pittsburgh wobble set and the traded in, recently warrantied out used ones from Snap-on, and guess what? They're re-worn out again. The Craftsman ones that I had, not the world's softest metal in the world, they were made in USA. 10 years, only really wore out like maybe 2 of them or 4 of them, something like that. Was able to get the worst one, which was completely beveled around the inside, warrantied out. So harder, but still softer and way thicker metal than some of the higher end companies up there like Snap-on or Mac or Matco or even maybe possibly Cornwell, depending on who rebrands their stuff. So keep that in your mind. The cheaper impact sockets, believe it or not, thicker, heavier duty, not exactly the softest metal in the entire world, so they don't have a tendency of wearing out as quick as the even softer metal ones like Snap-on, etc., like I already named off. But at any rate, that's my take on impact versus chrome sockets. Can you get away with having an entirely chrome set? Yes. Can you get away with having impact only? Yeah. Yeah, you can. There's going to be situations, though, where even you are going to be like, man, if my socket was just a little bit thinner, I could get there. That's all I got for this video, guys. Leave your comments down below. Share with me your thoughts and opinions. All impact, all chrome, mixture of both, and in what categories? 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch? Do you just buy them all and collect them over time? Later on down the road here this week, we'll be talking about how long I think it takes to get to a certain point of tool collecting. And obviously tool buying, tool collecting never really stops, but do you ever get to that point where it slows down? We're going to be talking about that very shortly. Probably look for that video come Friday. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Cheers and deuces.